Hey there, folks. Welcome into the News 12 Now desk. Thanks for joining us here. It is about 11 o'clock here on our Tuesday morning. We're going to start things off right now. We've got Cameron Jacobs live in Aiken for us this morning, talking to Dominion Energy about how to handle these big outages like we saw from Hurricane Helene. So sort of a lessons learned type thing from that storm last year. So we're going to send things out live to him now. He's actually talking to somebody there this morning. So Cameron, who do you have with you? And the floor is yours.
Yes, Nick, we're out here with Dominion Energy President Keller Kassam right here. He's president for South Carolina. How are you doing today?
Doing great, Cameron. Appreciate you being here.
So what is the importance of today's meeting?
Today is all about what you do every day. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Helene, it was the most severe storm, I think, and I was at the company during Hugo. But the centralized damage here from Barnwell all the way up to McCormick and all points in between is like nothing I've seen in my 37 years. But we're here to celebrate, first of all, the community coming together to not just restore but rebuild our infrastructure after that. And then we're here to tweak our operations to say how can we provide better response time, how can our system be more resilient, and how we can communicate amongst our partners, our local legislative delegation, town administrators, law enforcement, and first responders. And that's what it's all about, so we can get better every day.
So coming from Helene, what do you feel like was Dominion's biggest takeaway from the storm?
The biggest takeaway is let's start getting these mutual aid resources on our system. We had line from Texas and Indiana come right here to the Aiken, North Augusta area, and while they're en route, we're telling them where you're going to be, where you're going to be fed, where you're going to sleep, and we're also already giving you your orders, your outage orders, so that you can get here and hit the ground running. Staging areas are very important. You got to have material, poles, wire, underground cable. You got to have all of that. Where are those staging areas? And the greatest thing about this community, never in my 37 years, the outpouring of this community, we were in church gymnasiums, church parking lots, we were at schools, we were at USC Aiken Convocation Center, bedding everybody down, putting material out there. It was a full community effort that makes me humble, blessed, and what a privilege it is to serve these communities. It's just outstanding. So we're here to say thank you and express extreme gratitude and blessings for what this area means to us.
Now, we all know about power lines. We talked about this a little bit earlier. And with overhead power lines, it makes it a little bit easier, but Dominion also does gas as well. So when it came to the hurricane, was there any real issues when it came to gas lines?
It was. Even during hurricanes, dial 811. Call before you dig. That's so important, because what happens is we're trying to restore power and you have different entities putting poles in the ground, light poles in the ground, people landscaping, trees that come over. And a lot of the root balls in downtown Aiken, it had underground electric. It had gas lines tangled all in it. So if you smell gas, it's treated with ethyl mercaptan. That gives it the smell of rotten eggs. If you smell that on the street or in your home, call us immediately so we can get out there and make the situation safe. And then stay away from down power lines. But underground is not the panacea everybody thinks it is. It takes 6 times longer to make those repairs on the electrical system, whereas overhead you can see it and fix it. So it's all about balancing those resources. But the main thing is safety, safety, safety. So keep yourself out of harm's way and call us and we'll come and handle it.
And my final question to you is, how do you feel like today's meeting went? How do you feel like the turnout was? It looks like it was a packed house in there today.
We've done this throughout South Carolina. This is those highly attended. And it's great. You know why? Because these people experienced it, they lived it, and they triumphed. They did. We started out by having a moment of silence for the 2 firefighters that were killed in Saluda, and then we expanded that to our fellow neighbors and South Carolinians that perished during Helene, and then we had a moment of silence for all the victims of what went on in Texas. There are things out there that we can't control when they occur, but there are things that we can control in the aftermath, and that is putting aside our differences and coming together to communicate and work together, rebuild and restore our communities. And I am so excited and so appreciative of all of the men and women who showed up here today in this area so we can get better at what we do and serve our customers even during times of calamity.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother. You rock. Thank you so much.
Nick, as you can tell, communication is the key message here today.
Yeah, it sounds like communication and preparedness out there. You know, we talked about, we heard about Hurricane Hugo, which was 1989, so quite a while ago. You don't see these storms very often, but good to know that when these come around, they are prepared. So Cameron Jacobs live out there for us with Dominion Energy, breaking down some of that news conference and some of that meeting of what they talked about. Thanks, Cameron. All right, folks, you heard it here first, talking about Dominion Energy's response to these massive outages like what we saw with Helene about a year ago now. Some good energy there and some good insight for what they handle on the day-to-day basis and how they handle these big situations moving forward. So we'll have more on this meeting coming up on News 12 at midday and then later on in our newscast this evening. So thanks for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up there.